Welcome into another edition of the Sports Edge podcast. I'm your host and commissioner, Dan Stanzik. The guru remains absent, and honestly, I don't blame him. If my team failed to score 85 points and I lost to Steve, I'd probably be hiding somewhere in Denver in the fetal position as well. Speaking of the fetal position, this is a story I've told countless times, perhaps even on this podcast, probably even on this podcast. But there was a kid in our grade at Fairfield named Jim Callahan. He did not make car parts in Sandusky, Ohio, as far as I know. He was tall, always wore a white Boston Red Sox hat. I want to say he had an earring at some point during our tenure at Fairfield, but none of that is relevant to the story. All you need to know is that he had a roommate named Dave. He had kind of like a scar on his head. Nice guy. I had a class with him. I think that's why I heard the story. I'm not even sure really who told me the story eventually. But they were roommates freshman year, sophomore year. It doesn't matter. But needless to say, as roommates often did in college, they had a little bit of an unspoken routine. So one morning, let's call it a Wednesday, the normal routine took place. Dave woke up for an early class, went to take a shower. Jim Callahan hopped off his elevated bed, popped in a DVD of his choosing, went to town, as they say. And as he is cleaning himself up and getting back into bed before Dave comes back from the shower, he notices that Dave's girlfriend slept over and is in Dave's bed in the fetal position. Jim Callahan, ladies and gentlemen. If you know him, it makes the story even better. Um, Enough of that. Let's get right to the week one recap. And we got to start with Slim Pickens. That's Zanz's team beating the Stansics 118.78 to 108.78. It was the game of the week. And I'm not just saying that because I was a part of it. I led by 20 points heading into Sunday night, but then Derrick Henry ran roughshod all over the Bills. Monday night, Zanz led by 10. He had Aaron Jones. I had Justin Jefferson. Odds were close. I didn't feel great about it, but at one point in the game, fourth quarter, Jefferson catches a touchdown pass, and my team goes in front. Zanz immediately texts me, and my response, of course, was that there's a lot of game left. And sure enough, Aaron Jones, who had been on a milk carton for much of the game, reappeared on the next drive, caught a touchdown pass of his own, and gave Zanz the win. Congrats to Zanz. Big win in week one over the Commish. The Allen Bros beat Bowers Castle 147.36 to 77.72. Just a total shellacking. I mean, this was a nearly 70-point margin. Hoban has lost a lot of games in this league, and this was the third worst loss in his franchise's history. Speaking of Hoban, I will speak for all of the games here, but nobody played a second tight end this week. Good on you guys. Surprised Hoban didn't, and it's a bit ironic because his team would have been helped the most, ironically enough. Obviously, he still would have been demolished by Pete, but Tucker Kraft outscored all three of Hoban's flex plays. On the Pete front, I thought he reached a little bit, as I said in the last podcast, for Emeka Ibuka with the fifth overall pick in the draft. But Ibuka caught two touchdown passes and almost immediately made me sound even more like an idiot than I already am. Also, a bit surprised to see the normally frugal Pete spending a little bit on the waiver wire, but with George Kittle hitting the IR and Mark Andrews on sale sees he needed to secure someone, and that someone is Jawan Johnson. The Honey Bijan Badgers beat Destiny's Child 119.22 to 77.62. And don't you just love it when a plan comes together? B. Walsh, aka the keeper of the keepers, got an all-time performance from Justin Herbert, who is reportedly sampling the best tasting beer around, and routed the champs. Half's 77.62 points were the fewest in the league. I'd say it's a bit concerning, but he had the weekly low in week one last year as well. And of course, he went on to win the title. On the bright side for the champs, Travis Etienne, who they got for absolutely nothing, I mean, not even a ham sandwich from the commish, looked like his old self. In fact, he proved to be the better offensive weapon than a tank. Gives me more, beat Sal C's 113.68 to 107.08, the closest matchup of the week. And after some late game bounces did not go Robbie's way last year, it was nice to see that he actually caught a break this time around. Roma Dunze's 1 yard touchdown pass with a little more than 2 minutes to play on Monday night put Robbie ahead of Kess, earned the week one dub for Robbie. Dr. Kess, who he has lost all four season openers since his return to the league, finds himself in between a rock and a hard place this week with Brock Purdy likely missing a few games. But I think Caleb Williams may be Kess's answer at quarterback in the near future anyway, and that future is going to be starting in week two. Last game of the week, the thrill of the chase beat Guru's Man Rockets, as I alluded to at the open, 106.62 to 84.24. And here's all you need to know. Steve, of course, got the trashiest win of the week. Terry McLaurin, only 2 catches. Big time regression candidate there, as I mentioned. He'll probably catch a touchdown pass tonight against the Packers, but a little cause for concern for Steve, I think. Also, the Guru has already benched Bo Nix, who he traded 2 draft picks for. It should be noted that he could have traded only 1 pick and gotten Patrick Mahomes, but he chose poorly, like he did by avoiding his responsibility of doing this podcast last week and this week. But that's fine. Probably, another reason why he hasn't been here. Quickly, we will do the week two preview. It is late. I don't have much time. You guys are lucky I'm doing anything. But in week two, in no particular order, the Stanziks take on Guru's Man Rockets. Battle of the Pod, guys. Very exciting. Do you think the Guru is even going to show up next week? If he falls to 0-2 with losses to Steve and me, probably not. I may need to call someone in from the bullpen. Or I guess you would be, what's the term in baseball? Where are all my baseball friends here? The spot starter, the opener. We would need an opener to the season because the Guru has not even showed up yet. Slim Pickens gets the thrill of the chase in a battle of 1-0 teams. Steve won their lone matchup last season by a little over 2 points. And you better believe that Coach Zanzarella has been hammering that home with his guys all week. Should be a good one there. The Honey Bijan Badgers host Gibbs Me More in another clash of unbeaten teams. And last year, when these two got together, Walsh won that matchup by more than 80 points. I've been trying to compile a list of a more detailed record book to make note of things as they happen. I have not finished my biggest margin of victory column, but that is certainly going to be a top tenner, I think, for sure. The Allen Bros take on Destiny's Child in what I think is the game of the week in week two. And Half may have won the title last year, but Pete did win both of their matchups in the regular season. Final game, Sale C's welcome Bowers and company into the doctor's office, where Kess does God knows what with his patients. Kess has won 4 straight over Hoban in that one, and he is heavily favored to make it 5. Quick pod this week. That's all we got. You're welcome. I'm doing anything, as I said. Blame it on the Guru, but this will probably be the time we do these the rest of the season. Tape on Wednesdays. You guys will get them on Thursday mornings. So, like I said, that'll do it for this edition of the Sports Edge podcast. Thank you for watching, and good luck to all of you